Hey everybody, I'm your host Ray Gootz, and it's Gootz's Wrestling Pod, and I'm here with Kyle Lewis. Kyle, how you doing today?
What's going on? I'm doing pretty well. How are you?
I'm doing good. This country falls further and further into fascism, and so does WWE. But I like to go back to a time where the fascists were running things behind the scenes rather than live on CNN. And I'm talking the summer of 1997, Great American Bash 1997. But before we get into that show, we want to get into the news of the week. First of all, I mean, everyone under the sun has given their opinion on this, but I figure we'll discuss it this weekend. The weekend that just passed, Raja Jackson, is that his how you say his first name?
I
Raja,
believe so. I didn't hear of him until I saw the video. I didn't
I
know this was a
I
person.
didn't even know this guy had a son. This dude, this Rampage Jackson. I didn't even know he had a son. The last thing I remember about him was he did a pretty good Mr. T in the 18 movie, which was a very underrated reboot. I
Hmm.
was like, oh, he's
Never
pretty good.
watched. Yeah.
Oh, he's very. Now they're gonna bury it after with his family. So I knew nothing about this guy until I saw this video. But Saturday there was an event at Rikishi's indie show, and streaming live on Kick was the son of Rampage Jackson. He gets into a little altercation with a wrestler. The wrestler, I think, Psycho Stu. Um, I don't know if he thought the guy was part of the show or if he just was wanted to fuck with the guy because he was an outsider. But they let him know right away, you do not fuck with this guy. Psycho Stu apologized.
You here for some reason. No, I can't hear you anymore.
Oh, but we're
Okay,
talking about
wait. There you go. Wait. What is happening? Hey, I can now you're not moving, but I can hear you, I think.
Rampage Jackson has caused problems with our feed.
Okay.
Okay,
I
can you hear
can
me?
I can I can hear you and I can yeah, you're coming in and out, but I can hear you now.
Okay, yeah. So let me see. Do I have the Wi-Fi on? By God, my Wi-Fi on. Sorry, hold on. I feel like
Hmm.
this is, by the way, this is Jim Ross's podcast. Let me put my, oh, my Wi-Fi.
All
Half Jim
unedited.
Ross's podcast is him being like, Tony, I can't get the Wi-Fi going.
I haven't listened in a while. I'll look at some clips when it pops up, Grilling JR.
Now you're back. You hear me?
Yeah, yeah, perfect.
All right, I think we should be good.
All
Okay,
right.
so now let's get back to Psycho Stu and his best friend Raja Jackson. Did Psycho Stu know that there was a receipt coming from Raja?
I mean, if he did, he did not, I don't think he knew it was gonna be in that form of just violence, you know? I mean, it was a receipt's usually like a one punch or like a chair shot or something like that, like a really hard kendo stick. That was
Mm-hmm.
very, very brutal. He picked him up, knocked him down, and then like legit, shoot punches
Mm-hmm.
way after he already made the point. So good thing the other guy, I don't know his name, stepped in because that could have been even worse than it was.
Yeah, so if you see the video, they're having a match, Psycho Stu and these other guys, and Raja jumps in the ring, does a takedown on him, and from what it looks like, when people said the takedown already knocked this guy out.
Mm,
Now, I think the guy knew that one move was coming, and then so I think he kind of like just gives his body to Raja, right?
yeah.
Which is even bigger betrayal what Raja does next. Now, Raja then lands 20 punches on him in one of see, this is why like Mike Tyson used to say my hands are registered weapons, right?
Yeah.
Mike Tyson knew, even though he's a sociopath, kind of knew I can't just go up to a guy at a bar and hit him with my fists. You know what I mean? Because it's different. It's different than like me or you throwing a guy in the ground, hitting him 20 times or anybody. Um, it's the how fast the punches are and how hard they hit this guy. One of the most. This is why I don't like real fighting. I like my fighting like my breast. I always say fake. Um,
There you go.
I do. I see. Like my thing is like people like sometimes people like will get weird about intergender wrestling, right? Like And I'm like, no, like it's not real. Like I like so in other words, like if you book like Mercedes Monet to get squashed by Wardlow next week, right? That doesn't bother me because it's not real. Like it's they're like doing a dance. Like, but when I
Yeah.
see fighting, so I'm like, you can have like to in my mind with intergender wrestling, and I know I'm getting off topic here, but this is why I don't like real fighting. Like my thing is like if you want to have Roxanne Perez beat Roman Reigns for the belt at WrestleMania, I'm all about it if it's a good storyline because this is not based in reality. This is just a dance, and if Roman Reigns like gets revenge and stretches, none of that bothers me. None of this is real. But when I see
Hmm.
real fighting, because people come on, I don't like it. It's not. We're not meant. I don't think we're meant to beat the shit out of each other. You know?
No, I don't think so either. I mean, that's why there's been situations that a one punch can kill somebody.
Yeah.
One direct punch like at the right spot on your face or temple or jaw can kill someone because we're not supposed to be just walking around hitting people as fun as it seems like it would be because some people annoy you and sometimes you just want to smack the shit out of them. You can't you just can't do that.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. And the thing about it is that like it just keeps going and going and going. Now
yeah,
look, I
this
see
is
Mark
awful.
Henry and Rob Van Dam be like, oh, first of all, okay, I will take, and this is me being an maybe an old school wrestling fan. I will if he just did the takedown and knocked the guy out. All right, bro, you fucked with an MMA fighter. You got a receipt. Next time, be careful who you fuck with, right? If that
Hmm.
was it, he just did the knockdown and then he went like walked away and was like, "Don't fucking throw a can on my head." I'm gonna give Raja a pass on that if that was all he did. But and I don't want to hear that he doesn't know how wrestling works. I don't want to hear that he's this, that, and the third. But when you go down, when you are on a stream, because he live streamed all this, you can't like fucking when you say I'm gonna hit this guy, and then you hit him 20 times, you know what you're doing. Like you know that you're trained, you know that this guy is just a fucking loser wrestler. No offense, Psycho Stu. He's just an out of shape,
He's gonna take offense to that for sure.
he's an out of shape wrestler. You don't you are a trained fighter. You're supposed to know. If Mike Tyson knows, you're supposed to know. I can't do this to people. I mean, it's just you deserve prison time at that
Yeah,
point.
no, it's poor judgment all around. It's a threat, first of all. You said that you were going to do something to him, and not only do you knock him out, you hit him like you said 20 times. There was no need for it. I just there's like if you want like you said, if there's going to be a receipt, fine, a receipt, not 21 receipts, not a takedown and several punches. And now I don't know how well the guy's doing. I think they're saying he was responsive now, but yeah, I think he's gonna be in a lot of trouble. I mean, I think people are saying he should plead guilty and he'll get off with like a lighter sentence, but that there was no call for that. And anybody agreeing with that egregious amount of hits, I don't agree with.
Yeah.
It was just wrong all the way.
At a certain point, and it doesn't matter how dumb you are or how like I don't know how the business works, whatever bullshit you want to say. At a certain point in the world, even if it's you and your neighbor, you have to know hitting anyone that's unconscious 20 times is not acceptable at all.
Yeah,
And the lesson you want to teach this guy, Stu, he's going to get it with that one punch. He's going to learn, or the takedown. He's going to learn. He's going to be like, all right. I learned my lesson not to fuck with MMA guys, but I feel also like you don't need to, I don't know. You don't need to teach the guy a lesson. The guy had enough lessons. The guy fought for this fucking country. I mean, doesn't that mean anything?
yeah.
Do we pretend that means something until it's inconvenience, and then we're like, well, he gets what he deserved.
You're
Right.
you're all right. People are. I don't even think people think about that part. I think they just think of him as a wrestler, but he did fight for
No,
his
I mean
country. So
he was a veteran and
yeah,
he had PTSD from what he saw in Iraq. I mean, he fought but George Bush caused 9/11 and he fought for him. And this is the thanks he get.
allegedly. Yes, no, it's messed up, and I think it's gonna be interesting what they do with Roger. I definitely think punishment is coming to the level
Mhm.
of degree. I don't know what I don't know, but I like I said, I think it was just awful.
Yeah, it was really. It was a sad moment. Let's get to more happier things, maybe. I don't know. WWE's I've been so there's just been a black cloud over WWE since Hogan died. And I'm saying that Hogan dying caused it, but that and it's not like Hogan caused the ESPN deal, but that's kind of what kicked off this bad news and this lack of interest for me in the product. And I'm not watching this. I'm actually not watching the show. I'm taking my nieces to Hermosa Beach, one of their birthdays,
Nice.
when this show's going on, so I'm gonna miss it. Uh, and I have to say, we're gonna do a quick preview of Clash in Paris, but I am not looking forward to this show. How do you feel in general?
It's been a very lackluster month, which is not usually. When I worked at Busted Open, they used to call it the fall of the fall because that's when
Mm-hmm.
like until Survivor Series from September to like Survivor Series or even up to WrestleMania. I mean up to the Royal Rumble, it was just be the most filler, like missable Raws and SmackDowns you've ever seen. And it started very, very early because like right after SummerSlam, it's just been like I can't even tell you anything that was super exciting that's happened on Raw, SmackDown, or NXT. Dana Brooke, I mean, Ash by Elegance won the title. That's cool, but that's not like
That's good.
it,
Good for TNA.
yeah, yeah, good for TNA. This might be one of the most missable shows, unless they have a big surprise. It might be one of the most missable shows in recent memory since
At
the
this
Triple
point,
H era.
with the way they're going, the big surprise gonna be Vince is gonna come out. Would you know Grant make out with her on stage? I mean,
Uh,
that's with this Brock Lesnar bullshit and everything. Okay, so let's go through the matches. There's only five matches because why have seven or eight when we can do five?
I
Why
I
can't
don't. That is one of my biggest Triple H pet peeves on when it comes to this book. Like I don't understand. Like it was fine for NXT like 6 years ago. Like why on the main roster are these five matches? Like Stephanie Vercure, who was guaranteed a shot, no longer has a shot
why
because they're
why
figuring
can't
it
you
out, which they couldn't figure out 2 weeks ago. I don't know.
why can't you just do like a tournament or like a fucking six pack match and the winner of that faces Stephanie Vacquer for the fucking title?
Yeah.
Why can't you do that?
I
Why
mean,
you promised I just forgot about that. You made me watch Evolution. You promised me for 2 months she was getting a fucking title shot. And now she just doesn't like just give her yes she should be in the finals or whatever this is. She won it. Like that's the thing, they just change things on the fly now if they're bored by it. They're like, ah,
yeah. And Adam Pierce, unless like there's a big surprise, I know some people think like Liv Morgan might be back early or something like that. Unless they have a big surprise coming or somebody from NXT or who knows, then well, this was a waste of everyone's time.
yes. But let's
And
go
then,
through
and
the
then does
card.
she beat the surprise? Like I don't know. We'll find out on Monday because Monday's more important than Sunday.
Yeah, I know. Well, because the Peacock deal's up, they don't care about this show. That's
Yeah,
that's the reality. They're out of the Peacock deal. They're all hands are on deck for the September show because it's the first one in ESPN.
yeah. I mean, yeah, we didn't even get to talk about that. I mean, that happened the end
Yes,
of
after we
Peacock
locked off.
early. Yeah, because when last time we talked, it was about Peacock, the deal happening, and it was going to start in 2026. Now it's starting in September, like September 20th, which is just madness. The archives stay for a little bit, which is nice, but
I
it
I
is,
heard the Russell the Russell Radio guy or Russell Votes, whatever the fuck his name is, the insider said he's pretty confident the archives are going to go to ESPN. And I will say this: if the full archives go to ESPN, the app, I will get cable again. And you know what? I'll to make up for it. I'll watch the Golden Girl reruns on the Hallmark Channel late at night, like I used to when I had cable.
there you
Uh,
go, old school.
I need the archives in my life, bro. I need to go to sleep to primetime wrestling. Like I need it. I'm like a drug addict when it comes to fucking the old wrestling. I gotta have it in my life. So I'm gonna get ESPN if they have the archives. If they don't have the archives, or if the archives go to some, I still think Nick Khan is gonna put the archives on another service to fuck with everybody.
I
Whether it's
think they do. I think they will too. I think they it's at least in America, it's about what how much money they can get.
yeah,
So if YouTube or Amazon or Hulu or whatever wants to buy the archives, they will buy the archives.
dude, if you
Have a
you could pay
Pluto channel running.
I'll say you could. No, I want one where I could pay, where I get all the commercials off. You could put the archives on fucking AMC Plus, and I'm gonna get AMC Plus. Like it's just gonna happen. I may not get ESPN, but I'm gonna get wherever the archives go. I'm gonna go. So like with that knowledge and the way they're like screwing us with money, it would be smart to like find some miserable streaming service no one has and put the archives there. You know.
There we go.
Okay, let's go through the card. The first match on the list, I think, and I, 6 years ago, it'd be depressing to think that this would be, but I think that this is going to be the best match on the card, shockingly, is Becky Lynch versus Nikki Bella. Um, this, oh, Becky Lynch caused a lot of controversy with her Aussie promo. I will say that whoever was handling her pre 2025 who made her so much more she's so unlikable now in this current incarnation of Becky Lynch. Like I think all her charisma has gone out the window, but she still has great matches, which is what all that matters at this point. Um and Nikki Bella hasn't had a singles match in a while, but I do think this is going to be good. I'm gonna give it to I would, and I don't think you're going to do this, but I would have Nikki Bella win the belt for the publicity. What do you think?
I think Becky. I think Becky's character. I think she's supposed to be more cowardice. I know the man persona was a lot better and a lot more, a little more aggressive 6 years ago. I think I think the Ozzy thing, like it even like I wasn't paying that much attention. Like it flew over my head, and then I saw, and then I saw how unhappy people got, even though it wasn't that. Like she was saying how good of like he was the best part of this shitty place is what she was pretty much saying, and now he's not there, and that's Kelly Osbourne rightfully upset. And it goes after Becky Lynch 11, who is some random fan who had to deal with all of the
Oh,
hate.
this is all again. I don't have Twitter. God, Twitter just.
Yeah, it was Instagram.
Oh,
Instagram.
Instagram.
Yeah, so
Instagram.
Becky Lynch fan 11 or whatever it was, whoever got it, because
Kelly, why would Becky Lynch call herself Becky Lynch fan?
I
I would
don't
call it
know.
myself.
Look, I mean, she's grieving. I'll give her a pass, but I hope Becky Lynch fan 11 is doing okay. In terms of the actual
I just watched
match,
the song, and then he changed his name to Becky, not a Becky Lynch. Anyway,
yeah. In terms of the actual match, I think Becky's still gonna retain. I don't really see the value in Nikki winning it right now. Nikki still has, I think she'll have a good match because she needs it because the promos have not been very good.
oh
Becky
really?
smoked her the first time, and then this week with the Aussie stuff, they were both just all over the place. And I think Nikki Bella, as popular as she is just typecasted wrong as a face. I know like a lot of women and young girls like her, and I like her. I don't have a problem with Nikki Bella, but I think she shines as a heel, shines as a villain, and you can tell in the promos like it just wasn't working, at least for me.
Yeah, I think my thing with Nikki Bella, I used to not be a Bella person at all. Like I, when they were getting their big push, um, the Total Diva show made a lot of like non-wrestling fans of the Bellas.
Yeah,
And they have a very dedicated fan base of women that aren't going to sit on Twitter. They're not going to sit well on our side of Twitter, well, and they're not going to sit on wrestling boards. So I do think there's value in Nikki Bella as a face, especially with what happened last summer, with her husband assaulted her, and she had to
yeah.
get the divorce. I do think there's value in that. I don't like what I don't like about this Becky Lynch Nikki Bella build is that they're bringing up that John Cena dumped her. I would bring
They
up the
do that
fact
all the time.
they do because they see that as a weakness. They see that
Yeah.
as a loop in their minds, in the minds of Bruce Pritchard and Triple H. They see her as a fucking loser. That John Cena. No, I'm telling you,
No, I
okay.
agree.
They
It's
see
a
they see her as a failure because John Cena dumped her, and then the guy she got with, who she was like, "Oh my God, he's the greatest," fucking assaulted her, and now she's alone. They blame her for that in their mind, which is why they keep bringing up that John Cena dumped her. My story would be that I've overcome. abuse and I've overcome everything and I'm back here to prove a point. That would be my way of incorporating her real life into it, and I think people would go nuts for her. So I see value, but I kind of think they want to Vince McMahon it, where I also think Vince McMahon would see it as weakness that on her behalf, not like oh my god, I can't believe this happened to you. I think they see it as weakness on her. You know?
Yeah, I could see them because for whatever reason they love that joke. It's very low hanging fruit. Her and John Cena have not been together for like 6 years. John Cena's happily married. Like his wife comes to the shows. Like who? Why do you do
I
this?
want. You know what I would say, and I know no one's gonna do this because they would get fired. But like, let's say like I don't know, like I was engaged. Let's say I'm a wrestler on the roster. I'm engaged to Liv Morgan, right? And then she dumps me, and now she's really dating Dominic. Dominic dating leaves his wife, and I'm like, I'm ready for a new feud, and they want Chad Gable to like say to me like, "Oh, Liv Morgan dumped you, like, because you're a piece of shit," right? What I would say to
Hmm.
Hunter is, how come you never had anyone bring up China to you in like 2006? Well, if this is all good, then how come fucking Kurt couldn't have been like, like you fucking turned on China for Stephanie because you wanted power, you piece of shit? Like, well, how come no one ever said that? Right?
Yeah,
Why?
you would definitely be in TNA
I know, but it's like
next week.
because if that happened, if Liv Morgan dumped me, which she probably will, but they would bring it up every 20 seconds. Every 20 seconds they bring it up to like bury me, you know?
Yeah,
Mm.
no, it's BS. But I maybe the feud's gonna go longer. I don't know. Becky, I like the Becky run with Lyra, and I just don't know what they're gonna do here. Or maybe Natalia's gonna get involved, and we're gonna see Natty because I know they've been teasing that. Maybe it'll switch to Nikki to Natty. I don't know. We'll see. But I think
We'll
Becky's
see.
taking it home still.
Um, yeah, you know what's sad? What's sad is that number one, like back in 2018, I'd be like, there was no way you can have Becky Lynch fight Nikki Bella. Like that is not that the man needs to have like bigger challenges. Nikki Bella's a joke. And we talk about how great WWE is now. What's sad is now I'm like, oh yeah, finally Becky. I'm like, oh yeah, Nikki Bella's good. I'm like excited for Nikki Bella versus Becky Lynch in 2025. And also I'm like, this is the best match on the show. Like CM Punk is back. John Cena's retiring. Roman Reigns got more over, and we're here where in this golden age of WWE, Nikki Bella is the match I'm most excited for. Come on,
And the
let's go.
heart wants what it wants, I guess.
No, I'm
I
just
don't,
saying like
I
that's
don't
how
know.
well this company is falling. I don't
Yeah.
know. And here's another match I'm not looking forward to, but I I don't know. Roman Reigns versus Bronson Reed. I don't know. I don't see it with Bronson. I don't know. I think Roman's gonna win, but I do think Braun Breaker is gonna take out Roman after the match so he can go film his shit as Akuma. What's your feeling on this?
Yeah, I mean it's Roman Reigns' time to go away. So I think he's gonna definitely beat Bronson Reed. Bronson Reed's gonna look good, but he's gonna beat Bronson. And if it's not at the pay-per-view or it's Monday, Braun Breaker is gonna be next in line to take him out. And then we don't see Roman Reigns until War Games, where it's like Roman, Jay, LA Knight, CM Punk, and one more person against whatever team. I don't know, Penta.
I'm gonna. This is my prediction for the War Games match. It's gonna be Seth's team versus Cena,
Oh yeah,
Roman,
John Cena.
CM Punk, Rey Mysterio,
Rey Mysterio.
Diego. But here's the biggest. It's supposed to be Jay. He's gonna get taken out, and Ray is gonna ask Dominic to join the team, and Dominic is gonna say no. And at the last second, he comes out, and because they're in San Diego, and because I think that's where they turn Dominic face. That's my prediction. He's
Oh,
gonna save. And also Dominic has that history with Seth because Seth is the one who caused Dominic to start wrestling.
that's a big one.
That's my prediction that Dominic turns face at Survivor Series. They have a big stadium in San Diego. I think something is going to happen to Rey Mysterio. He's Mr. 619, as we all know. I think that's my prediction that something happens with Dominic and Ray at Survivor
I
Series.
completely forgot about Rey Mysterio and because he's been hurt for so long. But yeah, I think that's pretty good.
I think
Yeah,
at
that's
this
good.
point, like,
I
if
guess
he
it'd be Team Seth and Team Judgment Day. Maybe they don't let him on the team. Maybe it's Seth, Braun, Bronson, Finn, and JD or
Mhm.
something
I,
like
I
that.
I think that yeah, that's what I would do if you're gonna keep going on with this Seth Rollins bullshit. Braun Breaker and Roman Reigns is a destination for me in long term, and I do think Braun Breaker has to win. I think it's time. I think the future for me personally, the future for me is Dominic and Braun Breaker. Those are the guys that I see as the future. They're the Undertaker and they're the Shawn Michaels of the next 10 years, and we need to start treating them like that right now. Um, so yeah, I think everything that's going on, you need to protect Braun Breaker at all costs. So
Yeah, I think no, that's a good idea. I got no, I got nothing else. But I think it's a conclusion that Roman Reigns is winning this match and then going
yeah,
away for
I
a
think
little bit.
Braun Strowman's not the future. He's a stepping stone to help everyone else get over. By the way, has Tony Mama Luke or where the hell isn't Tony? What's his name? Tony Italian guy. What's
Tony
his name?
D'Angelo?
Yeah, has he shown up back in NXT since he vanished?
No, he died and they haven't said anything about it.
I also have a theory he's going to join Seth's group.
I could see that too. I mean, I want more for him. He's the kind of guy, it's such a stupid gimmick, but like he worked his ass off for 4 years. So you're like, what's his payoff? So I
Well,
think
I
he
heard
needs a good payoff.
he's very close with he's very close with Braun Breaker, and also that he'd be like the he's kind of like the Tully Blanchard. What I mean by that is like the Four Horsemen when it's like the Andersons and Ric Flair, it's all right. Then you put in Tully Blanchard, and you're like, oh, these guys are gonna fucking kill everybody. And I kind of feel like Tony Mamaluke or Tony whatever the hell you call it, Tony
D'Angelo.
whatever Tony Italian. Um, I feel like he is that missing ingredient where it's like, okay, now I'm worried for CM Punk. You know what I'm saying? Now they got
Yeah.
yeah.
I
I
wanted it to be everybody from that NXT. Like I really did a War Games like 2.0, and it was I think it was Grayson, Braun Breaker, Carmelo, and Tony D'Angelo. I wanted them all to eventually just kind of be a team. Maybe all of them on Steph's team. Grayson Waller's doing God knows what with the New Day right now. But if this was your big four, your pillars, as they say in AEW, like why not have them be a group now on the main roster? Because now they're 4 years in, a little more seasoned, and now they can try their best to pretty much do what the Undisputed Era never got a chance to do with in the on the main roster.
yeah, yeah, my man. Adam Cole should have just stuck it out, right? You know Adam
He
Cole. Right?
he would have got fired anyway.
No, 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 because if he just was the manager for Keith Lee, I think he could have hung around, and then Triple H came, and Triple H would have gave him the LA Knight push. Like right now, he'd be in the Fatal Four Way, and if
It
anybody
would
needs
have
to
been
help
because
Triple
that
H,
was August 2021. I think they were pushing that, and then Vince didn't leave till July 2022. So it would have been a tough stick out.
he just hovers around as the manager. Like if he just
Yeah,
played ball, anyway.
he
Because Britt Baker injured him when he went over. So
that's no.
he
It
injured his heart at the very least.
it does suck. It does suck. It's been a rough couple years for sure.
I know. So sometimes betting on yourself doesn't pay off. Sometimes you need to bet on Vince McMahon. Anyway, Sheamus versus Rusev.
Don't clip that one. Yeah, Sheamus versus Rusev.
Speaking of two guys who bet on Vince McMahon, um, here we go. Sheamus versus Rusev in a good old fashioned Donnybrook match. Um, man, I mean, I don't know. I guess Sheamus wins. I don't know. What do you
I mean,
think?
I think Rusev needs to win. He came back, right? Like, is he just gonna come back and lose? I think they keep talking about bringing back the old Rusev, so maybe that's how they bring back Lana or even Rusev Day. I know he's a commentator, Aiden
I would
English or
love Rusev
something.
to do that.
Yeah, but right now he's just like I think he needs to win more than Sheamus does. Sheamus is Sheamus. He's just gonna be there. He's also Teflon. If he loses, it's not a problem. If Rusev loses, it's like, why did he come back?
I think the thing with a lot of these guys is a lot of these guys went to AEW when they first came around, and I think Tony made some mistakes. Instead of bringing in like Aleister Black and this guy Rusev, I would have brought in Bray Wyatt. But I think, the first couple of WWE guys he brought in, like Matt Hardy and Luke Harper, really made a difference and were willing to play ball and do it AEW style. But Rusev went to AEW and acted like a prima donna and acted like a little bitch. And but also to the point is, they have you hire Rusev and then you have him like getting beat up by Kip Saban or whoever the fuck or like
He
the
was
guy.
he was the video game guy for a bit, which I want to say was probably his idea because he was a streamer.
Yeah, you have getting
So
beat up by Chuck Taylor, and it's like, well, that's not a good use of Rusev either. Um, my mind, you bring in Rusev in 2020, he should be in the mix with Moxley and all. Like he should have been in the mix right away with Moxley. That's my thing. And as soon as you get him, you need to put him in that mix, and then you can do whatever you want. But you have him like getting knocked around by Chuck Taylor. He doesn't matter anymore. So you put him there. He acted like a bitch, and now you re-sign him in Aleister Black. You're like, well, you just got to stick it to AEW. We're going to sign everybody that doesn't like AEW, and then but it's like there really was no room for Rusev anymore. Like the ship, I kind of feel like the ship had sailed with Rusev. Maybe not in 2020, but certainly with his antics in AEW, it's like, well, there's really not anything to do with this guy, and it's just like, yeah, okay, he should win because he came from AEW, but also, what does he really have? What does he have to offer the WWE? You know?
I mean, it's one of those things where they're hiring people to hire them, and then there's no room. Like you said, there's no room, and the championships aren't changing hands. Triple H seems to be a fan of long reigns. Rusev isn't beating Cody Rhodes. Rusev isn't beating Seth Rollins. Rusev isn't beating Dominic Mysterio. He's not beating whoever the U.S. champion is right now. I can't even tell you. But
Mhm.
he's not same with Aleister Black. They're just going to be in feuds, and they're in feuds with people that you're trying to like. In the case of Aleister Black, Damian Priest has been very wish-washy, and I think he's very talented and should be in a better position, but fans kind of go up and down depending on how much they care about him. So
Mm.
like they're not in these feuds that are gonna like cement them. It's not like Aleister Black is kicking Cody Rhodes' head off or Rusev is squashing CM Punk. They're just there, and then it doesn't help anybody. It's like Andrade and Phoenix, who I assume are gonna be moving the Raw to help Penta eventually. They're just gone. Like there's just too much. There's not enough room for everybody.
Well, people were bitching and moaning. They moved SmackDown 3 hours, and they were saying that like Ray Phoenix doesn't have enough TV time. This guy doesn't have enough TV time. This is when the show was at 3 hours. Now it's at 2 hours. They cheered, and I'm like, when they cut back, that means less time for people. Like you can't
Yeah.
have Candice LeRae, the Motor City Machine Guns, Ray Phoenix, Aleister Black, all can't have like 20-minute matches on a 2 hour show when you have to have John Cena stand in the ring for an hour, because it's his retirement year. And people like, and now people are complaining about SmackDown again. And I'm like, yeah, because they cut an hour away. There's no house shows anymore. There's no, there's not a show like Sunday Night Heat, which didn't get anyone over anyway. But I'm just saying, like, there's not that much TV time anymore. Where are these guys supposed to go? Like, you don't want WWE to fire anybody. But you want them to push Karrion Kross. You want them to push this. Like, there's only a certain amount of spots for everybody. You know?
Yeah, there's a certain amount of spots. It has nothing to do with how untalented or talented somebody is, or it just how it's going right now. And I think the 3 hour SmackDown, I think I don't know, they just never got a good. The pacing started to get better like 2 weeks before they canceled the show, before they moved
Yeah.
back to like 1 hour. But the original pacing of it was just like a slog, and it was a slog for so long that you're just like you couldn't deal with it. But
Mhm.
I don't. Yeah, it's just Rusev has to win. I think Lana comes back. Rusev
I'm
has
gonna
to
I'm
win.
gonna say Shamus wins because he's a Shamus. All
He could
right.
use it too. He never wins.
Now we go to the Fatal Four Way, which is the match I'm looking forward to the least. Seth Rollins versus CM Punk versus Jey Uso versus LA Knight. I put on Raw on Monday, and Seth Rollins was cutting one of his awful fucking promos, and I immediately shut the TV off, and I went back to my room and I put on Aquaman 2. And
Jesus.
can I, bro? Because we only have Netflix in the living room out here, so I have to like sit in the family room and watch it. And I'm not putting my family through this. Seth Rollins is the worst, best wrestler in the history of wrestling. And what I mean by that is, I've never seen a guy so talented that makes me want to never watch wrestling again. His promos stink. He has no fucking aura. I am so tired of him doing the same thing. The only reason he's over is because of that song, and they don't want to change the song because if he has like a heel theme, he's gonna walk out to silence. Because if they give her the makes tricks you into thinking this guy's over. He's not, and he's boring. And the other problem with this Sterling, CM Punk, he has fucked with CM Punk for months. He stole his best friend. He made him look like a bitch.
Years,
What? Years.
years now. This
CM
is the
Punk,
year two.
you want to, you talk about Hangman Page, like I didn't say Hangman Page was justified. You want to talk about burning down houses? CM Punk should be burning down Seth Rollins' house at this point. He should be kidnapping Becky Lynch and throwing her in the river. That's what should be happening in the storyline. Instead, CM Punk is like, whatever, it's all about moments. He's no longer CM Punk. I don't know who he is. And then you put in Jey Uso and LA Knight, and LA Knight's yelling at CM Punk, and they're making like they make the good guys look idiots. I am not into this. I do not want Seth Rollins to have the belt. I think this group that Seth Rollins is a fucking failure. I think Paul Heyman with Seth Rollins thinks. I am completely uninterested in any of this. Oh, you fooled Sean Ross Sapp by throwing away the crutches at SummerSlam. Good for you. Who gives a shit? This sucks. I'm gonna say Seth Rollins wins because they fucking hate us. What about you?
It was a moment. I don't think Seth. Yeah, I think Seth Rollins wins. I would love to see a surprise, whether it's a Jey Uso or LA Knight, any of the three. Probably LA Knight because he's never touching the title ever again. But because in my mind, we got 2 months to War Games and like 5 shows in between. Oh my God. Like they have Worlds Collide, which they don't really mess with the main roster. The WrestlePalooza, Perf, like Crown Jewel, then Survivor Series, and if AEW does like Wrestle Dream, I'm sure they'll throw something in between. But that's a lot of this storyline in between 2 months. So I would love to see something like switch it up. Seth Rollins is very confident right now. He loses the title somehow to LA Knight. You can have LA Knight run the month of September as champion. Seth gets it back or something like that. Just something to shake this up because I can't do this for 2 months. I can't. I don't think Seth Rollins is as bad as you're saying he is, but it's not going. It's not going great, and it hasn't been going as well as they think it has since the turn and since the Paul Heyman alliance. 'Cause they don't need each other. They don't need each other. It's like when Paul Heyman's with Ryback or Curtis Axel or Cesaro. Like these are people who did not like necessarily need him. You'd think those three would have needed him, but
Mhm.
it just didn't click. And it's just a group. And every week it's the same thing, and every week it's gonna be the same thing until War Games, and then after War Games, because I don't know what the Rumble match is gonna be. I know I'm thinking way far ahead, but they
Yeah.
are. It's not. It's just not that interesting.
I just think it's a waste of time to bring CM Punk back and spend most of your time making him look stupid for Seth Rollins.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
always think you should make him look stupid for other people, whether it's Dominic Mysterio or whether it's someone else who could be seen as the future of the Montez Ford. I'm just throwing out names here. There's a lot of people you could use CM Punk's goodwill into taking to the next level. Seth Rollins is never going to be as big as he was in like 2018, 2019. That was the biggest he was as in terms of a star. And he's always going to be there, but I just think it's so, like no matter what he does to CM Punk, I still would rather see CM Punk than this fucking guy.
I
Like
think these two
it's
need to
a
get
waste
away
of
from
it's a
each
waste
other.
of bringing
Yeah,
CM Punk to
they
constantly
need
happen with this guy.
they need to
What?
get away from each other. I don't know how. I don't know when. I think one of the factors too is I have no confirmation on this. Netflix wants who they want. I'm sure they have some input, so you won't see these people go to SmackDown anytime soon. But I think like they just like they need to get away from. They've been feuding for 2 years, and it's not like a great Tommy Dreamer Raven feud or even Hangman Page Swerve where like it's been on and off, like really on and off 2 years. This has been 2 years with the injuries and backstabbing and all of this. And they maybe had like two one-on-one matches with each other, three. But it's just I don't it's enough, 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 please.
No. And And what's the I'm mad because you left. What did you want him to like? Let's talk to Seth Rollins like a real person. So you wanted this guy who was like physically broken down and mentally unwell to stay here and get further broken down and mentally unwell because you're doing that in your life. Like, I don't. Yeah, if you're not happy somewhere, you should go. Like, what is this? Like, you have to just be a slave to WWE storyline, which is what they're doing. Like, I'm protecting. Okay, now he's in a better place, so he's here to help the company grow, and it has like this. I don't know. Like it's just such a bitch. Seth Rollins comes across as such a bitch in this fucking. He comes across as a bitch in everything he does. I. It's just 10. Okay, so I don't know. Sometimes I wasn't happy at Caroline's, right? Sorry.
Hmm.
And I would be at home on a Mondays before Monday Night Boots, and I put on Raw, and Big Show would walk out, and I would
Yeah.
be like, "How many fucking years have I watched this fucking show?" And this guy comes out, and it just stinks, and the show is not as good as 1998, and somehow I just keep watching. I'm just stuck in this room watching Raw. Da, da, da. Anyway, that's how I feel about Seth Rollins. It's like it's been 10 years of them trying to get this fucking guy over and all the internet reactors who want jobs with WWE, like Santi and shit, pretend like this guy's a big deal. He's a fucking bozo. And he leaves. This is my challenge to Seth Rollins and Tony Khan. He leaves today. He shows up at AEW on fucking Saturday. He's gonna be at the level of Daniel Garcia in 3 weeks. No one's gonna give a shit about him. I don't
I
care
don't
if he has
think.
what.
Because I
I'm
don't think it'd be that quick. Yeah.
gonna be that quick. I'm telling you, prove me wrong. Go to fucking. I don't care if him and Dean Ambrose start their feud again, and he's fighting the Death Riders and all this bullshit, and he's hitting curb stomps on fucking Wheeler Yuta. No one's gonna care within 3 weeks of this fucking guy because he's a loser, and people care about him because WWE demands you care about him. I will never care about this guy. I think CM Punk should beat the shit out of him, and we should have CM Punk feuding with Finn Balor and AJ Styles and Dominic Mysterio and Braun Breaker and all the people that matter in the world and Roman Reigns. CM Punk versus Roman Reigns 1-on-1. That's what I want to see. That's where the money is. Not this. That was where the money was at WrestleMania. It was Seth Rollins coming in, doing his fucking sing along, bitch. I'm sorry. I can't stand this fucking guy. We just got to keep going and going and going and going and going. This fucking idiot.
I have nothing to say. These are raised thoughts, and he's very, very passionate about it.
It's just 10 years and he's not. It's like Triple H. We have to pretend that people cared about this guy. Nobody cared about him. People wanted him off the show. And now it's just that's what WWE is. A bunch of people nobody cares about, and they just yell at you to care about them, and then fucking people fool themselves. Oh, he's a legend. They're gonna call Seth Rollins a legend. He's not a legend. Watch in
They
10 years.
they are. I mean, they are going to call him a legend. He's
I mean,
won
yeah,
every
he can walk away
championship,
today.
and
If he retired, I would throw a party. Like if he had like an Edge level or Magnum
if
PA.
you thought the knee injury was real enough for him to be gone, you would throw a party.
The show was so much better without him on. By the way, when he was away, the show was so much better. The Raw was so much better without him. I'm just tell me when I'm telling lies. They should have Goldberg retire him right now. All right.
Probably they'll end the retirement speech in like 5 minutes. That's why John Cena is going to be on Peacock. So he can have a 3 hour speech.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. John Cena probably was like, "You're not doing that to me.
Yeah, they
You're
wouldn't
not
have
doing."
done it to him anyway.
Finally, another match. I don't give a shit. Again, this is just a waste. When we look back on John Cena's retirement here, and I think Cena's going to agree with me. This is one of the biggest. This is like Hulk Hogan announces in 2004. I'm going to retire, but I'm a match a month, and then they fucking have him wrestle fucking the angry video game nerd. Um, like you know what I'm saying? Like how insane does that sound?
I mean,
And
there is some heat there with the LJN games. His hatred
yeah,
for LJN games. He probably hates Hulk Hogan because he was the star of the LJN games. You could have a few. I don't think the match quality would be any good, but get some
I
heat.
have 12. I have 12 matches left, and then I'm gonna retire. Great Hulk Hogan. How would you like to be in a tag match with Maroon Five? Huh? Come on.
In 2004, I mean, what's the name? This love was just popping off. No, it'd be terrible.
Uh, Hey, Usher has a hit song. Why don't you and Usher turn heel
Oh, that he wouldn't do. We all know why. But
on Eddie Guerrero?
Eddie Guerrero, yeah, let's go for it.
How
So
about
yes,
this?
John.
How about this, Hogan? You, Usher, and The Rock beat up Eddie Guerrero at the end of No Way Out 2004. And then you reform the NWO. But then The Rock leaves and Usher leaves. And then you just be like, I don't feel like it anyway. And you hug Eddie Guerrero the next week. How about that? How about that for your retirement run, Hulk Hogan? How about this, Austin? You want to come back like your next healing? It's me, Steve Austin. I want to come back and wrestle CM Punk. It's 2011. Okay, awesome. But first we want you to wrestle Charlie Sheen in a Tiger Blood match.
God, wasn't he pitched for something? Like they tried to get him to do some match.
They want him to wrestle, actually. Yes,
Yeah,
yes. And I
gotta
think Charlie
love it.
Sheen was like, "You people are idiots." And they were
Well, he
better.
made one right decision at that time.
Yeah, I forget. It was supposed to. I think it was supposed to be CM Punk or John Cena. He was supposed to wrestle. Like he was supposed to wrestle someone important. It wasn't like he.
Yeah, I forgot what the storyline was supposed to be, but they tried to bring him in, or he was gonna be a guest host. Something weird happened, and it fell apart. The Justin Bieber, I remember, was also a rumor a few years
Yeah.
ago,
Well,
where it was him, Big Show, and John Cena against somebody.
hey, how about that, John? Okay, okay. Can't wait for CM Punk to
This is very
retire.
rich territory you could go into.
CM Punk is going to retire, and then he has to fucking wrestle Little Nas X when he gets out of prison. All right.
Yeah, he's
Um,
going through it too.
I know. Well, he watch Raw. That's what happened. So, the main event, I guess. I don't know. John Cena versus Logan Paul.
This is the main event. It's not the world title match.
I think this is on Wikipedia. It has this as last. I can see this being the last match.
Okay. I mean,
If you do something with Brock Lesnar, you want to end the show
oh
on,
yeah, yeah. He gets a free trip to Paris. Brock's gonna
or
be there.
or you give people a happy ending, and then the fans get to like serenade Cena to end the show. Maybe you can stay in the ring and get a hero. So I would have to be the main. Even though I'm not excited about this match, of all these matches, this would be the main event for me. So
Mm.
for the fans. John Cena versus Logan Paul. Cena's win. I mean, unless you have Brock Lesnar come out in F5 Cena, that's the only way I would have Logan Paul win. And even then, it's like Brock Lesnar shouldn't even be. We shouldn't be talking about Brock Lesnar. All right, he should be fucking banished to his fucking farm. Um,
Like the guy from
but
Seventh Heaven.
yeah, Cena. Okay. Listen, Brock's not a pedophile. Wait, see, you're
Oh
27.
yeah. I just mean banished to the farm.
Come on. All right, here's
Oh,
what he's
now
on.
I'm come on. You could call Seth Rollins the worst human being of all time. And I make one joke about the dad from Seventh Heaven and I'm a monster.
No, but Seth
Okay.
Rollins is the worst human being of all. He's not.
Oh.
Listen, he's a little bit clan. He's not. Seth Rollins is not a pedophile. I
I
will
did
say that.
not call Brock one of
The
I
one
just said banished like the
This would
guy from
be
Seventh Heaven.
this would be my promo with Seth Rollins. The one redeeming thing we have about you is that you're not a pedophile, but everything else is fucking awful. So I'm sure you're gonna be a great dad. You should just go home and be a dad.
And
Have you thought about managing a Target, Seth
Seth
Rollins?
Rollins 11. Someone to get mad at you and call out Seth Rollins 11 on Instagram, and then we get all the heat.
So John Cena should win, right?
I think once you brought Brock Lesnar into it, I think Logan Paul's winning, and fans are gonna be really pissed off because Brock's gonna cause John Cena the match. You get Logan Paul, his outsider run, he gets to get more ego, more shine on him,
I
wherever
mean,
that leads, and then you
if it
can.
wasn't Brock, if it was anyone else, in theory, yes, that's a great way to like build up WrestlePalooza. But it's just so annoying that it's Brock, you know?
Yeah, no, I agree. I think I think for the just for the riot factor of it all, Brock Lesnar. See, I want to talk about the '90s. Brock Lesnar is going to cause John Cena the match. He's getting a free trip to Paris also, so I'm sure he's gonna love it. Brock Lesnar will cause John Cena the match. John Cena can still do the standing O afterwards or when the show ends and people can
Yeah,
cheer
because
him.
John Cena's character never cared about winning or losing. Like
Yeah, yeah.
John Cena would get like you fucking choked out and like shot in the leg 15 times at a
And
pay per
then
view.
one AA would do it.
Brian on Monday Night Raw, I'd be like, I just love the WWE universe. Like nothing happened. So,
So yeah, Logan Paul's gonna go over and everyone's gonna be very upset about it.
well, I'll tell you what I'm not upset about. Well, I am kind of. WCW Great American Bash 1997. This is back when wrestling made sense. I will say that I love WCW in this era. I think they're firing on all cylinders sometimes, but there's some matches on this card. I know people like the NWO should have wrapped up earlier. I'll tell you, in June of '97, they could not have survived without the NWO. If you had the story end around this time, fucking, because their other ideas are Glacier and fucking Hugh Morris, they would have been right back in the toilet. So you did need the NWO to go longer because some of the show fucking drags without them. What do you think?
I agree. I think there's a lot of great, well wrestled matches on this show, and
Mhm.
then there's the WTW of it all. I mean, Glacier and Conan and Hugh Morris and um, even Kevin Green and Mongo. They do what they can do. I didn't love it then, and I don't really love it now, but they did the best that they could do.
They
But
did.
the Mortal Kombat stuff, which I liked as a kid, and I think Conan Humor is one of the worst matches on the show. We'll get back. We'll get to it later.
We'll get to that. 1 second.
Hmm.
All right, here we go. Let's talk about WCW Great American Bash 1997, live from Moline, Illinois. I love that WCW run these big shows in places you're never gonna see another big WWE show. Actually, AEW should go to Moline, but they're fucking pumped that they're in Moline. They love these little towns, man.
These little towns love WCW. I mean, that's where they get a lot of their bread and butter. And I think it's funny because WWE, I remember years ago, there was like a mandate from Vince that if they were in a small town or like a not like a Chicago or something like that, they never said the name of the town. For what some weird Vince rule. And WCW is the complete opposite. They love themselves some Malloy.
So the first match, Psychosis versus Ultimo Dragon. Ultimo Dragon and has had Sonny Ono turn on him recently. And now Psychosis is with Sonny Ono. They've been the feud has been happening on Nitro as the announcers tell us. Uh, Mike Tenay does a great job throughout this show of kind of like keeping people updated on what's going on in WCW at the time. There's not a lot of announcers that do that. AEW has a big problem with that, where no one is kind of like giving you the background. They just assume that you sit on Reddit all day. And I think the people left watching that show do, but that's not the point. Um, Mike today does a really good job of filling in the blanks. Now the match starts, and Dragon gets some offense, and the crowd goes nuts for Ultimo Dragon. So, I think the sometimes the narrative is that these WCW crowds didn't care about this highfalutin cruiserweight matches, but they do. Man, Ultimo Dragon is getting over with this crowd. Did you notice that when they went nuts for Ultimo's moves?
Yeah, no, I mean first of all his moves are incredibly impressive. And second, I think once you add a story, this is not a dig at AEW. This could be any of the companies. You add a story to cool moves, not an in-ring tell the match in the ring story, like an actual like storyline here. People are gonna get more invested. They were showing Ultimate Dragon on a regular basis. You got familiar with him and Sonny Ono. Now Sonny turns on Ultimate Dragon. So now you have some type of meat there. So people are
Mhm.
going to be more invested in addition to the awesome ring work of him and Psychosis.
Yeah. Fucking yeah, man, these guys, a year before no one knows about them. Now the crowd is into them. I definitely think that they could have turned all these guys into major stars by the year 2000 if they had played their cards right. Ultimo, Psychosis, Ray, Dino, Stinko, Malenko, they all could have been in the main event. And I don't think these fans would have been with it. But, ultimately they lose interest. And I don't know why you lose interest because this was the formula, man. This match is terrific. So, Sonny Ono keeps trying to fuck with Ultimo throughout the match. Sonny Ono messes up, hits Psychosis. Dragon hits the Dragon Sleeper on him for the tap out. The crowd loves it. The crowd's super into it. Probably my match of the night. I really love this match. What did you think?
Definitely a match of the night. It was really, really, really good. You're not going to go wrong with Ultimate Dragon and Psychosis. Very rarely we go wrong with the two of them fighting either each other or somebody else. And with the addition of the Sonny Ono story, like it got me. I don't remember. watching that match years ago. I'm sure I did. I don't remember it. I thought that the finish was Psychosis was going to get the win because Sonny Ono attacked him, and Psychosis was going to get the win. There was like a delay for like a split second, but I thought Psychosis would get the win and the feud would continue there. But nope, Dragon Sleeper got it. Awesome match.
Yeah, man. I don't like Sonny Ono. I think Sonny Ono is one of the worst things in WCW history. I would put him in the top 10 reasons why they went out of business.
I
Just
mean, he sued them. That's why. It's if anything, he's a catalyst for change because he sued them, and then Booker T became champion. Say what you want about that, if that's why or why it's not why.
he should not have been on TV. He has no talent. He sets Asian people back every time. Like he just he it feels like a white guy in an Asian person's body. That's how he,
It was
like
very stereotypical. Yes.
yeah. He's a bozo. But about to give him a compliment. Even he comes across very well in this match. So
Yeah.
it's a good one. Next up, and I thought this would be better than it wound up being, Harlem Heat versus Steiner Brothers. First of all, sensational Sherry. I don't know what's going on with her in this era. She gets fired very soon. Um, but man, put down the pipe. Whatever you were doing, please, Sherry. It's not going to end well. She does not look healthy. What did you think when you saw Sherry? Were you like, oh great, Sherry? You're like, what's going on with Sherry when she walked out?
I remember Sister Sherry. So I used to think she was black. I used to think she was black for the longest.
Watch the old WWE stuff. Then holy shit.
I mean, she was very tan, so I didn't.
Mm-hmm.
So I always thought she was black. I also thought she was Rick Martel's sister, so I thought Rick Martel was black,
I thought
and
that was good. Mm-hmm.
which I also thought was very weird that Shawn Michaels. Actually, I didn't think it was weird. I thought Rick Martel didn't want Sherry Martel dating her sister dating Shawn Michaels, and then I grew up and found out none of that was true. It was I made my own headcanon for that weird ass match. But back to Sherry, yeah, she's just kind of there and weird. I don't know. Like I don't know how else to explain it.
Yeah, it's she looks off.
Yeah,
Like in 91, 91, 92, she is in 1990s. Well, she's a gorgeous woman. They try to she was so hot, like they try to ugly her up in 91, and it just you can't. Like you can't. They say the term you can't polish a turd. This is the exact opposite. You can't shit on
yeah.
it. And
It
now
worked
it's like,
on me. I used to be scared because she had the look and the hair and all that stuff.
I think if they wanted to back in the day, 91, she could have been just as big as Sunny or Sable if they decided to go down that road with her. They didn't.
Yeah,
But one of the old time greats. But anyway, she's busy in the thinking about where she's going to get her next drugs outside. So Harlem Heat versus Scott Steiner. Um, yeah, I didn't really like this match. Vincent comes out, causes DQ. Kind of seems like a waste of time. I really thought this was going to be much better. I mean, I really do like the feud that Scott Steiner and Booker T had at the end of WCW, and I always assumed that like every Steiner Brothers versus Harlem Heat match would be fire. I didn't feel this match. It was very weird. It just felt like all guys were going through the motions. What did you think about Harlem Heat versus Steiner Brothers?
I think it was just there. I'm sure they've had better matches that you can see with the two of them. The Vincent run-in was just kind of off. I mean, I don't think Scott. I don't remember when Scott Steiner joins the NWO, but I think it's not for a little while, right?
In a year. Yeah, it's February
Yeah.
20th.
Yeah, so it's a, I guess they did it so the outsiders wouldn't have to face the Steiners. I think it was the story they were trying to tell, which smart, I guess, but it was just there. It's one of those matches that both teams could do better and it could be better, and it just was not. I don't think it was like offensive, but it was just it could have
It
been
wasn't.
better with the teams that you know what they're capable of.
It's just when they walked out, I was like, all right, this is why I love WCW because like the
Yeah.
different styles, everyone kills it, and I'm going to see a great tag match now after that awesome cruiserweight match, and then it was just mid as fuck, and
Yeah, it was just kind of there. And there's probably a better one if you look on Cage Match, the infamous Cage Match, to see
uh,
what
I
better
think
match they have.
they have a better one. Like I think they're not. They they would wrestle all the time on nitros and stuff, and I think that's
Yeah,
like
exactly. So you're like, oh yeah, and then you're like, oh, it's like bringing back WWE this week. Finn Balor fought AJ Styles. It was like 10 minutes, I think, on Raw. And I was like, oh, what the fuck?
yeah,
Like this week, you're out. I remember how like it's over. Like, okay,
it's been over. Okay, so yeah, but you know what? I owe Steiner Brothers and Harley an apology because I was like, oh, this is so rough. One of the worst fucking matches I've ever seen. Conan versus Hugh Morris. This match was like, what are we doing that these guys are on pay per view? You know, I was watching the match and all I ever heard is Conan was as big as Hulk Hogan. Conan, and I'm like, I've heard Mike Tenay say that, Eric Bischoff say that, Conan say it, Bruce Pritchard say it. I've never heard anyone that actually lived in Mexico at the time say it. How? I don't believe it anymore. The more I watch this guy's matches, because Hulk Hogan, you may not like him, but you can watch his matches from the early '80s, and you're like, oh yeah, I get why this guy people go nuts with this guy. This fucking guy. I mean, these guys are winded after like 8 minutes, like they can't even move. This is one of the most boring, poorly worked fucking match. I was watching this match and I'm like, they put Hugh Morris in charge of NXT. Conan lectures people how to like book wrestling on his stupid podcast. These guys are beyond failures. One of the worst things I've ever seen. What did you think?
it was
Um,
not a good match, not even a little bit. I'll give Bobby Heenan and the commentators credit. They try to be like they attacked each other so much that they're like they've exhausted each other, but it was like it wasn't a long match for them to be exhausted. They tried their best with that, but it was not good. Definitely in the crush level based off the 97 we've been watching. It is the crush match of the week, which is it was not good at all and
no, it's
disappointing.
really like it was like because Conan, I like Conan in the NWO when I got back into it in 1998,
Yeah.
and it's just like, man, this is bad. This is like you both don't know what you're doing level of something bad. Like brutal. I was gonna say it. I don't think I don't think that Hogan he's as big as Hulk Hogan thing was a complete lie. What about him? What about him would make him big?
Well,
I don't.
maybe it was the AAA in the early 90s that's what it was. I don't have any I didn't watch. I didn't know what it was. So maybe it's that stuff. Maybe when
I
the
it's probably
archives come to wherever they go, they'll get the AAA archives and you can see him as big as Hogan from 1990 to 1994. But he was Max Moon for like a year or two. Who I don't know.
I just feel
Maybe it
like
is a lie. I don't know.
I just feel like if he was as big as they're telling me he was, like when he like walked out, like even like to induct Rey Mysterio to the Hall of Fame 3 years ago, like fucking it was in LA. It's in the heart of fucking LA. A lot of Latinos. You wouldn't think you would get a pop or something. Like Hulk Hogan wasn't, if Hulk Hogan, like let's say Hulk Hogan vanishes, like 1980, like we get to 88, Hogan just vanishes. Like he just goes to like, I don't know, I'm gonna be a factory foreman now. I hate wrestling. Fuck this, right? And then he walks back out in like 2005, he's still gonna get a massive pop. Like, oh my god,
Oh
Hulk, you
yeah.
know what I'm
They
saying?
would love to see him, yeah.
Yeah, like even if like just 1 year alone would have ensured that this guy is always a big deal. And like, I don't know. All right, speaking of garbage, and I don't know. Again, this is nothing. I'm saying how much better WCW is, and this whole it gets better. This show gets better. This is why I say they need the NWO because this is like if they ended the NWO storyline, this is all they had. All right, Mean Gene comes out and promotes the hotline. He says
Oh yeah.
someone their organization is not happy and they might be on Nitro next tomorrow night. Now my head immediately goes to WWE. I have since found out that this person was Raven.
It was Raven?
So this yes,
Okay, so does Raven
Raven.
show up on Monday? I don't.
I mean, he shows up down the road. He
Okay.
does because he wrestles at the next ECW pay per view. But
Okay.
I guess he's backstage like telling the WCW guys he wants to leave. But me and G talk about Raven in this promo, right? So then the Public Enemy come out. I've never seen the Public Enemy cut an interview. And then when I saw them cut an interview, I learned why. First of all, if you're gonna have these guys cut an interview, why the fuck are you doing it on a pay-per-view where someone took 1997 money, spent $30 on this fucking show? This why? Why are these guys cutting a promo on a pay-per-view? Kyle, what did you think of this?
Terrible. Just no. There's nothing else to say. I mean, I don't really have any Public Enemy. My only real memory of Public Enemy is this, and in ECW it was Here Comes the Hot Stepper, and it was a lot cooler than it was in WCW, or definitely their brief run in WWE. But that was a terrible show. I mean, terrible promo, and what a waste of time. I'm glad to know it was Raven because it was driving me nuts. I was like, who is this? But
Mhm.
it's Raven. That's cool.
See, you didn't think
The
about
promo,
what about Raven? That's why you said it, because
yeah,
you forget about him.
but the
He has to
promo,
remind you.
not good, awful.
Speaking of not good, speaking of not good, this here's the thing about Glacier. Here's the thing about Glacier. So in 1996, I saw one of the promos for Glacier, and I assumed, oh, this guy's go after the NWO because they're trying to make him like a superhero. And I think if there's like an intention of Glacier and Conan or Psychosis, this is the big problem with WCW. Okay, if Glacier gets through Wrath and Canyon or Mortis, he's going to get to the NWO. If we were building these guys to eventually get to the NWO, I think a lot of these matches would be easier to watch because we feel like it's building towards something. Like there's this constant build, but it's made very clear, and that Glacier just exists in his own world. Like he has no effect on the show. This is no
He
effect.
has to defend the realm.
He has to defend the realm, and so you don't care because it's like this is a bad storyline. This is a bad match. Um, they got James Vanderbeek, who's one of the most untalented managers in the world.
Shit, it's Panther.
So you don't care. It's Glacier versus Wrath. Canyon is handcuffed to the ring post. They bring back Mike Tenay. Now, Mike Tenay gives a completely fake backstory for Canyon that he's like a pit fighter. And this is like, okay, you now have Mike Tenay using his credibility to lie to the audience.
Well, he already
And
lied about Conan, apparently. So
oh yeah, he did. Yeah, but it's just like you're just making up this whole, and you have Mike today, who the audience believe because he'll tell you like, oh, in New Japan, this down the third happened, and fucking CMML, this down the third. And you're like, oh yeah, you watch all this crap, so I trust you. And now you taking that trust and you're throwing it out the window with him making up
that's
this
how we
shit.
should have got people vaccinated. Have him or Jim Ross just throw it in between a tidbit about a wrestler, and then fans would be like, "Oh yeah, well, JR said it."
Oh yeah, but you know what? You know what the funny thing is that like they never had Jim Ross do this. Jim Ross never like completely like Jim Ross was never like I don't know like gold comes from the gold. He didn't like just make up like use his he always like would and that's why people still love Jim Ross because you know what he says is true. He's
Yeah.
not going to feed you lies, and and they have Mike Tenay feeding us lies. This match stinks. Wrath does like these kicks that like a 4-year-old couldn't even do, and they have Bobby Heenan go, see, that's his karate. They're trying to see like Wrath's a karate expert because I think he's supposed to be like the Jax or whatever. And Glacier's clearly
Yeah.
Sub Zero. Mortis is Scorpion. I'm just and Wrath I think is like and Ernest Miller.
Shao Kahn.
I don't know. Yeah, maybe Shao Kahn. He's the Shao Kahn, but like they try to act like this guy who can barely pull off any wrestling holds the entire time we've watched him, and then we know it's Adam Bomb, like a martial arts guy. This match is atrocious as well. What did you think? I can't stand this Glacier.
I liked it as a kid. The only reason I really liked Glacier, and it has nothing to do with him as a wrestler, was he was the only one in WCW NWO World Tour with a super kick. So I would pick him,
He did have a good
and
move in that game, but not in the real world.
yes, no, in the real world, it was not that fun. And I mean, I liked this storyline. One thing that stood out, I don't know if the Raph's music changed, or I think they dub it over
Mm-hmm.
because I remember Raph's music being like a lot more sinister, and this is just kind of generic rock. I think they dub it over, and I think I heard sounds from like the 2K19 crowd that they loop over as well in that like thing. I have to look up if they dubbed over Raph's music, but the actual match not good. I mean, WCW's in this weird spot where everything else is realism except for this fucking match. So like this is and I guess the Dungeon of Doom in some capacity, but
Yeah, barely. They don't really exist at this point. Conan, more like the last two members, and they broke.
yeah, but it was just like no, it was bad. And then the fact that James Mitchell, I don't remember what they called him in this show in this one. He has a lot of different names, but this
Vanderbeek, Vanderbeek.
Vanderbeek, yeah. When Vanderbeek, he gets the handcuffs, and then it's too late. He already loses the match, the unlock Mortis, and bad, just bad.
Really bad. And speaking of like, it kind of continues with Akira Hokuto versus Medusa. Now, if Medusa loses, she retires. Great job burning bridges with WWE. I mean, what a fantastic decision that was. They have given her nothing to work with since she did that. You know, everyone acts like what a great moment it was. It was a, I would say to Medusa, you made a fucking mistake. Like
I mean, I think she knows that all the time because now when she shows up at WWE, I don't know if they make her bring the belt or she just brings the belt, but they always have to remind her of what she
both.
did.
It's Akira Hokuto, who I've always heard is a great worker, versus Medusa. Um, this match is what it is. They don't book Medusa like we're supposed to get behind her. They don't give Medusa a courageous send off. She just loses like an idiot. Mean Gene cuts a promo on her while she's crying and dragged to the ring.
That was great. That was so insensitive. Oh
Yeah,
my God. Even the crowd was like, what are you doing, G? And the crowd was like, not right now, or something. The crowd was like booing
for
him.
a little, for a little.
Oh my God.
Yeah. What did you think? I was like, because like I don't know. When on paper, I would see these matches listed, and I'm like, oh, these are going to be good. Like it's a Japanese women's wrestler, and Medusa has had. I mean, you haven't watched the show like I have. Medusa has not had a good match, and I don't know. Maybe I don't know how long. I think since Survivor Series '95. What did you think of
Wow.
this?
I thought it was, I mean, it was another one that wasn't like offensive because I thought the surprise was that she was going to win. I have no idea what's going on
Yeah,
with the story. I haven't seen it. And I thought she was gonna come back and win and keep her win. And also they kept changing the rule. They're like she can never challenge for the title again. And then I was like, no, her career's over. And then she loses. She just loses. And I was like, oh, okay. That sucks. And then Mean Gene doesn't help Bobby Heenan's like she's gonna be working at McDonald's or something. Bobby Heenan's getting all some great lines
big
in
fan.
between the whole thing. But like she just loses. So I was very surprised. But I thought the match was just like fine. Especially after the last couple matches we saw. But it wasn't like match of the year.
No. Now the
Also, she
show,
didn't win.
yeah. Now the show picks up. It does pick up because when things are feeling down, you need a guy who murdered his family to
Ay,
brighten
ay,
things.
ay. Yep.
Um, Benoit versus Ming. Now I don't know, bro. When I see like versus Ming on a pay per view card, I'm like, oh, I can't. This is gonna be horrible.
Yeah.
This they've had two matches. Last month at Slamboree and now here. I am shocked how good this match is. Like man, this was a good match. It's not the greatest, but I mean for Benoit versus Ming, which I would expect to put me in a coma, I thought it was really good. It's a death match. They got to answer the 10 count, or whatever. They have to. It's a weird match. Benoit gets a submission victory.
Yeah.
Um, it was really good. I really like this. Last month Ming won. This month Chris Benoit won. The other thing I like is the Horseman theme song. It
Yeah.
really yes. It's to me the Horseman themes always sound like the angry dad music. So like if a daughter, if a bunch of girls go to their father and they're like, the gym teacher has been beating us. When the fathers go to beat up the gym teacher, this is the music I expect to hear. You know, it just sounds like the dads are coming to fuck you up. Like you fucked up. The dad, the head of the
In the slow motion walk.
Yeah,
one has a tire iron.
the middle-aged badass dad music of the Four Horsemen. I like it. Benoit wins, and it's always hard to talk about these Benoit matches because he is a disgusting human being. I don't think he should
Hmm.
be celebrated. But man, it's hard. It's hard because this show stinks, and then this guy shows up, and it's like, oh, it's good,
Yeah.
good again. And I just it would be wouldn't life be so much easier if fucking Glacier had murdered his family, not this guy?
No, yeah.
Because who's gonna complain if they edit out all the Glacier matches?
Raph, I guess. But Brian Clark, but
Would it,
Curtis Miller.
what a line I said. Wouldn't life be easier if Glacier had just murdered his family?
You,
I'm sure
you're
like, yeah,
you're
not
gonna
for us.
yeah, you're gonna have some interesting clips to post. If you want it, they're not gonna let you keep your account if you post that.
Wouldn't life
But,
be easier?
but no, this match good. I have a quick story about that music. That music is the first song, the Four Horsemen song, is the first song my brother and I downloaded like
Oh
as
wow.
a wave file off
Mhm.
Netscape Navigator, and it took 6 fucking hours to do because it was so slow back then. 6 hours to get, and we didn't even know it played. Like we were watching an episode of Hey Arnold. It's an episode where like Helga's sister, overachieving sister, comes, and then Helga changes her grade and makes her get like a B plus instead of an A, and then falls into a deep depression. So the whole house is depressed, and then that music starts playing because we didn't even know. We just gave up on the file, and it just was like it's so etched in my brain, that memory of that song with Hey Arnold on the TV. But it's a great song. The Superior Horseman theme, in my opinion, not that one. That one is fine, but I like the one that they play now. The match, yes, the match was awesome. Benoit, he did what he did. No one agrees with it. Actually, there's some people who are still very on his side, but good match. I was really surprised with Mang too because I thought you never know what you're gonna get with Mang,
Yeah.
and probably definitely one of the highlights of the night. Definitely helped pick it up, and yeah, he's just good match. Just a really good match. Very hard hitting match.
People never give Ming credit for being a good worker. They always the whole thing is like, well, he was a real badass. By the way, I would have loved it if Ming in his prime was there when Raja Jackson did what he did
Oh, he would have killed him.
and he got his hands on him.
He would have killed him.
That would have been a clip.
Yeah.
That would have taken this clip to the greatest real life clip.
We would have seen a murder on Kick. It would have been quite the spectacle.
Oh, Ming would have taken his eye out. I think
Yeah.
Ming would have ripped his eyeball out to get him to stop, and it would have been fantastic. Okay, Ming, gotta love Ming. But yeah, everyone always just goes on about how tough he was in real life. The guy could work. When he was with a real worker, he could work. He was a type. He's
Hmm.
like a chameleon. Like if he's with Warrior or Hogan, he's gonna go to their style. But if you put him with Benoit or someone else who's like a real Graps type of wrestler, he's gonna go to their style. And you got to give him credit. I give him
Yeah.
credit. No, you hate him, but whatever.
I don't hate Ming. Don't put that out
You see,
there.
you got nervous when I said that. Please don't let Ming know that.
Yeah, I don't hate him at all.
Next match, and this was building for a year, believe it or not. Ever since Steve Michael betrays Kevin Green, the Great American Bash, to join the Horsemen, and then and a while later, Horsemen are having trouble with the NWO, so Flair recruits Kevin Green to help him at Piper in the main event of the last pay per view. They win. Stephen Michael and Kevin Green, though, haven't forgotten about their beef, and now here we go. The match, a year in the making: Green versus Steve McMichael. Jeff Jarrett gets involved. A bunch of people. There's fucking Deborah involved, but Kevin Green gets his revenge. What did you think of this match?
It was there. It was what it was. It's two people. It's two people who can't wrestle. Yeah, giving their heart out. And then they're not trained wrestlers like
No,
Conan and Hugh Morris. They're power plant dudes who just did their best. I'm not just saying that because they're both no longer with us, but they're power plant dudes who did their best. Back then, I could not stand Kevin Green being on there. Wasn't a big fan of Mongo either, but it came and it went. That's all I can say.
I like Mongo. I like Mongo in the ring. Mongo is just weird and different. I prefer Mongo flailing like a lunatic than Logan Paul's. I was carefully choreographed for 6 days before this match with Shawn Michaels style. I like Mongo basically he's like figuring it out as he goes along. He goes, I guess that's how I hit a tombstone. I guess
Yeah.
it's do a body slam. He's just like, bro, they gave him no training. They gave him it's the equivalent of they just put me in the imagine they just put me in the ring Friday with the Motor City Machine Guns and tell me to go. And I've got to figure it out in the ring. I
I
mean,
think they take good care of you.
but I'm saying that like it's incredible that this guy didn't like kill someone by accident like 2 matches in, and he just it's fun watching him because he basically is just they just shove this guy out into the ring, and somehow it always winds up being watchable. So imagine if they trained him like
Yeah, I
Logan.
mean, he could have had a whole different career.
Yeah, but why train anybody in WCW? Why? Why? We don't need to do that. We're gonna be, not like we're gonna be beating WWE forever. No need to prepare for the future. Okay,
Oh.
so uh, now we get to the big. Now we get to the NWO. Now we get to where the show's interesting, at least for me. It's Piper and Flair versus Nash and Hall. I mean, not Piper. I'm sorry. Flair gets a massive pop. People were back into Flair at this time.
Hmm.
WCW, we can say what we want about Flair nowadays. There's a lot to say. But WCW always seemed a little embarrassed that the crowd just wanted Flair, and whenever they embraced it, the show got really good. Um, and last month at the May pay per view, they embraced the Flair love and the show. It's one of the best pay per views they've had. If you haven't seen Slamboree '97, I know you didn't do the episode. Check it out. Here, I think the fans think, okay, we're in for another major Flair push, and the match is good, but they make Flair and Piper look like fucking idiots. Halfway through the match, Six attacks Flair. He goes to the back. We never see Flair again. And then Piper gets double teamed like he's a girl in an OnlyFans video until he gets pinned.
Yes.
Uh, and then the crowd is kind of like, oh, we thought that Flair was going to keep winning against the NWO. I guess we were wrong. I did like this match though. I did. I like it. I know it's not going to lead to anything, but I like the heat spots. I think all 4 guys are really good workers. Up until the finish, I enjoyed this tag match. It's gotten bad reviews online, but I enjoyed it. What did you think of the tag match?
I thought it's fine. See, I got my timelines mixed up because I saw Dusty Rose in the red coat. So I thought this is when Dusty Rose joined the NWO.
Oh, not yet.
Yeah, I thought this was the match where they joined, and I was wrong. So I was kind of waiting for that to happen, and I was like, oh, this is not the match. Okay, definitely weird for Flair to just kind of be taken out of the match. I don't know if they followed up on that, like Flair and Piper feud, or get into
They
some
did.
type of thing. Yeah, so that's where that leads, I guess. But it's one of those things when WCW typical NWO shenanigan comes in, like you're having like a good match, good moment, and then the NWO of it all kind of like puts a little asterisk on it. But especially compared to some of the other stuff we saw on this show, not bad at all.
Not bad at all. I think the big mistake was I think people liked Piper and Flair together. I also think Flair kind of kept Piper in line with the promos because if you see
Hmm.
some of the promos from when he jumps over in '96, yeah, Hogan constantly has to gear him back on track. Like has to give him like verbal cues to like
Mm.
this is actually what we're talking about. Because Piper will just start talking about Jurassic Park, and Hogan has to be like, Piper, I said I'm gonna cripple you in front of your kids. Don't you have anything to say about that? Oh yeah, by the way, don't do that to me. You know what I mean? Like, Piper, we
You're gonna
only
make
got
me go back and watch this night some of these promos with these two.
there's a bunch of times where Hogan has to like interrupt Piper and have to remind him, like, I remember I said I'm gonna kill you, right? That's what we're talking about. Like, oh, I went to the movies. I think at this point in their lives, Flair and Piper complement each other, and I
Yeah,
think that together as a unit against the NWO and then Sting, I think that's money. I mean, again, you can elevate Benoit, you can elevate Mongo if you want, you can elevate, and the fact that they just kind of flared and Piper turn on each other right after this, I don't. The crowd's like, that's not what I want, and you're just
no,
ending. The good guys are constantly at each other's throat when they try to fight the NWO, and the NWO was never like that. They were always a united front. So it just makes the
yeah.
good guys stupid. And I think again, people wanted. I think people would have been very happy if Flair won the belt from Hogan this summer. I think people would have went nuts. I think it would have been big business. And they
Yeah,
again,
they
would
were
you say
still in the South, so like the people they still loved Ric Flair over there in the South. So I don't. I mean, they went with Luger temporarily.
Luger was over too. Luger was over
Yeah,
too.
Luger's very over.
I mean, Eric Bischoff fucked with Flair in '98 because he thought he was a nobody. He thought he was. I do wish Flair went. I do wish that Flair had basically been like, "Get me out of his contract," and went to WWF because the idea was he's having the problems with Bischoff when Vince is trying to convince Austin to become the corporate champ.
Mm.
I think the idea was Flair comes in as Vince's idea of the corporate champ, and then you made him in SummerSlam Flair versus Austin with Vince.
Was that the idea?
That was the idea. Flair said Dave told him because Flair wanted to leave that summer, and he goes either Bischoff gives in to my demands or you see me come in and say he goes who better to be the corporate champ than me? I am the corporation. I wear the suits. I he goes you see because Vince wanted Austin to wear suits. He wanted him to be to go to parties. I go to parties. I wear suits. Why would the Vince McMahon character want me as the corporate champ?
Yeah.
And I wish he did that because I think as big as Flair is, I think that would have taken him to the next level. Working with Austin at the height of Austin's fame, and I think that would have killed WCW faster than what happened. I really do. Um,
It would have been interesting. I mean, I've heard that. I heard Macho Man might have was supposed to be because he had no contract for a little bit that they
mhm.
wanted him to be like the fourth person. Remember when it was like Savio Vega with DX or something?
Yeah,
That they wanted Savage, and that
that
just
would
kind
be
of
good.
fell through.
But Flair, I
But
think,
but no, Flair as a corporate champion versus Stone Cold Steve Austin, who's the complete opposite of everything
mhm,
tradition. Especially when they were doing all that NWA stuff with
yeah,
Jim Cornette and the Bob Holly and Bart Gunn. It definitely would have been cool.
yeah, like Vince is like, this is my idea of a perfect champion, and you're not it. And then
Yeah.
you could have had Flair versus Rock, and it could have been an interesting thing. But I do kind of wish Flair did that because I think it would have taken Flair to another level, and I think he really would have because Bischoff still thinks he did the right thing. I don't think he did. He really
Hmm.
would have proved Bischoff wrong. He really would have been like everyone would have ate their words about Flair,
Yeah.
and he needed that moment, and I don't think he ever got it, and it sucks. And it's your fault ultimately. Ultimately, it was your fault.
Yeah.
It sucks.
Oh, well, I should have sent letters to WCW telling Eric to fire Ric Flair.
Yeah. Well, no, listen, abuse of power, fire me, I'm already fired. One of the greatest promos I've ever
Yeah,
seen.
it all worked out for everyone in that
Not really.
situation.
We got,
Maybe not WCW, but but for Ric Flair, Stone Cold Steve Austin,
it worked
Eric
out for some.
Bischoff.
That's all.
Yes. Okay, I guess so.
Flair sticks around and he loses to Vince Russo. So I mean,
Oh yeah, he goes to like the mental hospital and stuff.
yeah. So I mean, come on. All
Just
right, here
that
we
weird
go.
haircut.
Listen, listen. I used to think DDP stunk and was overrated when I was younger. I didn't understand why they pushed him. When I got back into wrestling in 1988, I'm like, why is this manager getting the push? But now watching these shows and watching him evolve, I totally get it now why this guy's main eventing. DDP versus Randy Savage in a wild brawl. DDP doing the tape ribs gimmick. Do
Oh
you know
yeah,
you actually did that to your ribs? If your ribs were damaged, you would cause more damage to your ribs.
I did not know that. That makes a lot of sense. I'm sure some person has caused more damage to their ribs, taping
So,
their ribs up because they saw it on wrestling.
yeah. So DDP versus the Macho King, Macho Man Randy Savage. These guys battle everywhere. The fans are chanting for Sting. By the way, they've been chanting for Sting every pay per view since December. They're hot for Sting. WCW has so much simmering. That's right. They have so much, and they fuck it all up. But that's another time. The funniest part to me of this brawl was they get to the stage, and the fans. I guess there's some fans with a VIP area. It's a picnic table. First of all, this is an awful VIP area. There's no back support. You can't see the ring from where the fans are sitting. Why
Hmm.
would you be not facing the ring, eating hot dogs, and not watching this? This is the match I assume you would want to see. There's no way for you to see the ring. You're kind of exposed. Everyone can see you. There's no privacy. But this was the VIP area for WCW. But they go there and the fans scatter. I'm hoping this was just employees they told to sit there for this
Yeah.
spot. They beat the shit out of each other. They use a charcoal pit. Dusty Rhodes has some funny lines like, "No, baby, don't use the charcoal, please,
Yeah,
baby."
yeah. Show me the charcoal pit or something, he says.
Yeah. Uh, really fun brawl. They beat the shit out of each other all over the ring. I love it. I love this match. Scott Hall interferes, hits the Razor's Edge. Um, People complain it wasn't a clean finish back then. Look, we're continuing the NWO storyline. I'm fine with it. I really love this match, man. Savage still had so much left in the tank, and DDP from just a year ago has improved so much. Has improved so much, and I really enjoyed it. He reminds me a lot. You know, he reminds me a lot in the ring, and I don't know if you agree with this. Hangman Adam Page. They're almost like the same
I can
type
see
of.
that. Yeah,
Yeah.
I
What
can
did you
see
think of
that.
it? I loved it.
I thought it was really good. The other match of the night, if you're gonna give two matches of the night, it was. I mean, the feud was hot. It was a very hot feud. And it was a great year for DDP. It was his rise. Here's how much modern wrestling has messed me up. After Scott Hall hit the Razor's Edge, Outsider's Edge, I was like, well, DDP's gonna kick out now. And it was just a plain ass three, and I was like, oh yeah, it's 1997. I guess not. You don't need five finishers, but I thought it was great. I thought it was a great match between the two.
Oh yeah, it was a lot of fun, and they really have good chemistry. And Savage, Savage knew I got to get some other guys over. It can't just be me versus and he really does all he can to get DDP over. And I think the fact that we still talk about DDP to this day, the fact that he's in the Hall of Fame, the fact that all his success, including DDP
Hmm.
yoga, I think goes to Savage. And because Savage took a chance on this guy that not a lot of people would take a chance on. I mean, he was old, fucking stunk in the ring, fucking had he to me when you watch DDP in 95, 96, it's like get this guy off my TV. Why is this guy on my TV? But the fact that Savage believed in him helped save the lives of like Buff Bagwell, Lex Luger, Jake the Snake, because of his success. He put it into DDP yoga, and he's helped out a lot of people.
Yeah,
And sometimes it pays to help someone out in life, like Savage did to DDP. And
yeah, and then he's helping other people.
yeah, yeah, and I really do think like if Savage didn't get injured in 1998, I think he would have done the same for Guerrero, Raven. You build these guys up. DDP a year later is main eventing against Hogan because of Savage's work. We don't get there without Savage. You've got to build these guys up, and that's the problem with WCW. Eventually, they stopped doing that.
Yeah,
Benoit in '90, right? Chris Benoit, Ultimo Dragon, even Glacier. They're on the cusp of something. You're putting all, and then you just be like, nah, we don't really mean it. We don't really mean it. Let's just do Piper Hogan again.
yeah.
And you've got to do what Savage did because look, you did it with one guy, and people remember this guy for the rest of. He's come on, he was at Saturday's main event with Goldberg.
Yeah. No, I think it's a lesson that can be learned all throughout all of pro wrestling. Like you
Yeah,
gotta have these guys that sides with that type of talent elevate these
yeah,
wrestlers and actually elevate them to like a good point, not a point where like, all right, well you forget about them next week. Savage and DDP is a great example of that. Bret Hart, Stone Cold Steve Austin, another great example of that. I think that is necessary and it's something that is missing a lot more than it's there in
yeah.
current wrestling.
Yeah, because you took a guy like let's who's someone who's annoying. Sammy Guevara right now, very annoying guy. I don't say you can if you put time and effort, especially if you're someone like Moxley or if you're someone like I was looking at who's at a or Edge. You put the time and effort, you can make Sammy Guevara just as big as DDP. But
Yeah.
you've got to put the time and effort because people you're probably saying no, 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 there's no way. Yeah, that's what people said in 1995 with DDP, and look where we are in 1997. You
I
know.
feel like only two of their four pillars are working out right now. Because it was Adam Page, Jungle Boy, MJF, and Sammy Guevara. And Sammy Guevara,
Not Hangman Page, it's Darby Allin. He's the other
Darby
one.
Allin. Oh,
Mhm.
Adam Page. Oh yeah, I guess Adam Page was already like kind of set and made. He's with the elite, so he's fine.
He's already,
Uh,
yeah, a big deal.
yeah, he was good. Yeah, all right. So still two. Darby Allin, MJF are gonna be fine. Jungle Boy has vanished from existence. I think today or yesterday, as we film this, is the anniversary of the Real Glass, which set everything in motion of what we have now. So maybe it's his fault that you're so upset with Seth Rollins and Sammy Guevara. So many start and stop pushes, some by his own accord. Um, I think the right talent could help these guys, could always help these guys. I mean, he worked with MJF, he worked with Cody Rhodes, he worked with CM Punk, he worked with um I don't think he worked with Kenny Omega, but he got to that point that he got there. Same with Adam Page, working with the right people. So it really pays off.
I think the problem with Tony Khan is
I
no,
can cut
I
you
think
off.
like Hogan. What happened?
No,
Yeah.
you were breaking up. I think Tony Khan was like, and now we're done.
Okay. Okay.
But but yes, the problem with Tony Khan
I think
is
I think I think what he didn't like, and a lot of people didn't like the fact that Hogan got into WCW and right away got the title and was like the main star. And I remember people arguing, and Tony Khan's proven that this would not have been the way. Is that Hogan should have like went, he should have like had feuds with Johnny E. Bad and Steve Austin and Cactus Jack, and then like a year later finally get to Flair. And I'm like, no, because you that doesn't elevate Austin and Johnny B. Bad. That makes you think Hogan's at their level. You know,
hmm
you get the biggest star in the world, you have to immediately put them in a top position.
yeah,
And Savage, after 2 years, takes DDP and turns him in. No, they only do it once, but he turns him into what he is, which is a legend, right? He
yeah,
takes an annoying guy into a legend. When you sign Adam Copeland and you put him in opening matches right away, you just devalue Adam Copeland. Adam Copeland should have been in the main events as soon as he got in. And then if you want to take Daniel Garcia, so you put Adam Copeland's like the champ, right? Let's say.
yeah,
Then you take Daniel Garcia and you use Adam, he's gonna get him over. But you've got to I kind of feel like the way Tony Khan does it, you devalue guys like Adam Copeland, Bobby Lashley, Rusev, you devalue them by automatically being like, well, Adam Copeland's gonna go like tit for tit with Minoru Suzuki and fucking I don't know who else he's wrestled a couple of guys. So like really, and
yeah.
I don't think he means anything. Um,
I
Edge,
know he wanted to wrestle more, so like that might be like his own doing as well, at least in
yeah,
Adam Copeland's thing. Because WWE was using him sparingly, and then he just
but
wanted more.
you
But
need to make matches matter. You need to make
no,
it matter.
I agree. I mean, I always and it's nothing against this guy as a wrestler. I always think of Adam Copeland versus Lee Moriarty, and like Lee Moriarty's win record is not great in AEW, to say it politely. So to have this match, and then it did nothing for Lee Moriarty, which is, I guess, not Moriarty's fault entirely. I guess it's also the creative, but
Mm-hmm.
it just, yeah, sometimes it's too much. You need, like you said, you need something that's like actually like substantial.
Savage in 1997, you tell Savage on a random Nitro you're going to go back and forth with El Dandy. He's like, I'm not doing that. Why would I do that? Are you going? Is El Dandy going to get the title? No. Well, why the fuck would I give this guy any offense? Now, if you go to Savage like, hey, we believe in El Dandy, we think El Dandy, we think El Dandy should beat Hogan, not Sting, and Savage sits there and he okay, yeah, I'll do that because I'm only gonna give I'm it's gonna matter when I do this. If I do
Yeah,
this with everybody, it doesn't matter. If Savage is getting knocked around the ring by El Parka and El Dandy, fucking Glacier and fucking Tony Ono smacks him around once or twice, if Medusa gets a hit in, it doesn't
with the
matter.
broken knee. Yeah,
Yeah, it doesn't matter anymore. And then you don't get DDP. That's all I'm
no,
saying. And I know it's like, well, they only did it for one guy. Yeah, he was only allowed to do it with one guy. If they had half a brain, they'd be like, oh, we could do this with everybody if we're smart or the people that matter. Which, in my
yeah,
mind, Guerrero, Benoit, pre-murder, maybe post.
yeah, no,
Guerrero, Benoit, Malenko, Jericho, and Goldberg. you know.
Yeah,
But anyway,
you're right.
it wasn't meant to be, and now we have Clash in Paris ruining our lives.
Yay.
Okay, so let's go over the next 4 weeks of the podcast. Next week, you're still on the show. It's the final 2 hour in your house. We have in your house Canadian Stampede, the Hart Foundation versus Steve Austin's Team USA. Which, when you think of patriotism, you think of Steve Austin. In
Oh,
two
hell
weeks,
yeah.
it's Bash at the Beach '97. And by the way, thank God Hulk Hogan's back. I've been wanting to talk about Hulk Hogan on this podcast since he died, and he died right when there's like he took a break in '97. So I'm glad he's back because like fucking have things to say about this guy. Hulk Hogan and Dennis Rodman versus Giant and Lex Luger in the main event of that. In 3 weeks, you might still be here, you might not. We'll see what happens. SummerSlam. I mean, on the show in the world, you'll be
Nah,
here.
I got you. I mean, hopefully I'm still here.
Yeah,
Well,
SummerSlam '97. Bret Hart versus Undertaker, and then in 4 weeks, Road Wild '97. Hulk Hogan versus Lex Luger. What are you excited about?
I feel like I gotta close out the SummerSlam at least. I've done from June. I know there might be different plans, but I've done from June and
Well, you always do it.
July. I feel like I gotta close out the WWE Summer release. I could take a leave hog wild, but um, no, I mean Canadian Stampede. I'm interested to watch again, especially. Actually, I think I said before the big Hart versus USA Team USA match and WCW. Like I do not remember those pay-per-views very vividly, so watching this one was a nice surprise. There was no like real like big investment I had, so I could just kind of watch and watch, and probably made me enjoy some of the things a little more. So the both should be good.
I think when you sometimes you watch some of these old WCW shows and all right, they go out of business and they ruin everything, but you just watch it in a bubble because like you'd watch sometimes like Fall Brawl '98, for example, and like you're like, why the fuck are they doing British Bulldog and Jim Neidhart versus Disco Inferno and Alex Wright, right?
Yeah,
Well, if you watch that match just to watch that match, it's not that bad of a match, you know.
no, yeah.
But you're like, you're not going to beat WWE with this, and they don't. They go out of business. But just to watch a match,
It
I
was
think
a
something
WCW NWO Revenge ass match because all four of those people were in the game.
such a random fucking match.
Hmm.
But you just watch some of these matches in a bubble, and you're like, this is like May versus Benoit. Like, it's fine. It's good. It's fun. Um, the other thing too, I just love the vibes of WCW. They have it's so like fun to just be lost in the WCW world, I guess, or I don't want to say universe, than it is the AEW or TNA world. It's just very relaxing. It's very proud to be Southern American, but not like in a racist way, if that makes any sense. Like not in a conservative Christian way. There's just this way that WCW is proud to be from the South that
Hmm.
no one recaptured and proud to be rural, proud to be southern, proud to be I don't know. There's just something about it that's nice and pleasant, and it makes you want to go to the South and not be afraid of it.
Not me.
But
But yes, not me, but yes.
and then and even when they do Sturgis, like they make Sturgis look fun, and it's something I never thought about or would inquire about, and I kind of want to go to Sturgis at least once. I'm not a biker, but it just it's just this celebration of shitty America that WCW mastered that no one else has mastered. Do you agree with me on that, or am I off base?
No, I mean it's definitely like a moment in time. Like even if it is like Republican, like it's not in your face. It's not something that's like that like you're not welcome here. Like you can still watch WCW no matter who you are and enjoy it. I think the difference between watching WCW now and AEW TNA now is there's no stakes, like you said earlier. Fed is gone, the company's done. So you can just kind of watch the like watching like The Office. You can watch
Yeah.
WCW and just kind of enjoy WCW for its highs and its lows, and then you could go online and fight about it, but what's the point? It's been gone for 20 something years. What else can
I
you
feel
talk about?
I feel like now if a company was like, we're all about the South, it would get political.
No,
It
absolutely.
it would get kind of like xenophobic. It would have all these things, and let's not be fools. I mean, I don't know if you've seen everyone running WCW was probably super conservative, but it's not I miss that version of the South. I don't think it ever existed, but I miss the WCW Ric Flair, Dusty Rhodes version, Tony Schiavone version of the South. That's all I'll say.
Get that nice wrestling version of the South that only exists in the 2 hours of
Yes,
Nitro and pay-per-views.
everyone's welcome. We're here to watch some wrestling. You get in Arn Anderson's face, it's gonna smack you. Not like, but like
There's an old lady there always in the
it's
front
the
row.
you know what? You should go fucking check out. Atlanta is a great fucking town, according to WCW. Anyway, that's the podcast. Kyle, what do you have to plug? What do you have to plug for the fans?
Character Select Comedy, September 6th. Tickets are on sale. So please come to the stand. Come hang out with us 6 p.m. September 6th at the stand. That's it.
And well, this will be too late, but I'm in Koreatown tonight doing stand up. But no one's gonna hear this before the show. Uh, Follow the podcast, Gootz's Wrestling Pod. Follow me on TikTok, Ray Goots Comedy. Keep it 5 star on Instagram for our good pal Kyle. And yeah, listen, I'm having a blast doing the show with you. It was fun with Andrew Lee. Andrew Lee, best of wish in his further future endeavors. We got Kyle now. We're having a good time. You enjoying doing the show?
Having a very fun time. Hope everything's well with Andrew. Hope he's having a good time in life. I'm very humbled and honored to be here and talk about wrestling. When else would I be watching Great American Bash on my own accord? So thank you for letting that happen.
Every day of your life. But all right, guys.
Yes.
That's wait. I'm sorry. One last thing. Who had the better pay per view this month? WWF or WCW?
Oh,
King of
WCW. Sorry.
the
It was not, yeah, it was not King of the Ring at all.
So me and Andrew Lee have been doing a tally of who's had the better pay per views because at the end when we get to March of 2001, that'll determine who the better company was after all. And so far, WWF has only won 2 months. They won in November of '96 and May of '96 because May of '96 is when every month until 2001, each company has a pay per view.
Yeah.
And yeah, WCW so far WCW is leaving them in the dust. So
Well, they got a lot to catch up on. And maybe they do.
well, they definitely do. I mean, we saw it. I mean, it did happen in our life. But
I
when
mean the tally. Maybe the tally. Who
yeah,
knows? Unforgiven 99 might not be as good as War Games 99. We'll
I am more
find
upset
out.
about Cold World '99 than Unforgiven
Yeah.
'98. I have to say. All right, guys.
All right.
We'll see you next time.